Hooty hoo, all my stock market gamblers. Welcome today. I'm Tall Mike. So glad you're here. Well, the stock market continuing to press higher, right? We came down to the 20-day. The algorithms kicked in again. They started buying the market, trying to push it up to a new high. Until we get below that 20-day, the moon boys are going to continue to be right. The market will continue to march higher. Eventually, we're going to break the 20-day. I don't know what type of black swan event it'll take to do it. We've been straight up for 6 months in a row now, and we're continuing with the upward trend. Eventually, it's going to break. I would think this rally's getting a little long in the tooth. There's a saying, sell in May and go away. May's the next month. I don't know how this month will end, but I do think eventually we break below the 20-day moving average, and then this market will start to come down. And it's probably going to come down at a pretty rapid pace. We'll see how that plays out. All right, so let's get over to the real estate side of things. Now, in the real estate market, home affordability is at the lowest it's ever been. It's at a record low. Home affordability at a record low. But yet, mainstream media, the Biden administration, telling me that this is the best economy we've ever had. But yet nobody can afford to buy a home. It's at a record low. Mortgage demand continues to drop off. Nobody can afford the prices that homes are selling at. Now, I agree there's demand, but nobody can afford to buy these. Now, what's going to happen? I'm calling for a 40% drop. A 40% drop in the price of your home, and that may be a conservative number. Very conservative if you look at it from a real money standpoint. Now, what's real money? Well, you got to take in the cost of inflation, right? Let's say your home goes up by 5%, but inflation's running at 10%, so your home actually really went down by 10%. And this has happened in the past, and it'll probably happen again. You see, they can do a lot of things to prop the homes up. I mean, Biden, he's going to go and give everybody $10,000 to go buy a home. All right, well, what is that? It's printing of money, printing of money. What could the Federal Reserve do? They could go out and print enough money to buy every home that comes onto the market. So there's zero homes for sale. Homes can't go down because the Fed will pay the price that Billy Bob got out. So there's a lot of things they can do to manipulate the prices to keep them up high. But in real terms, those prices are going to be coming down because when they print the money, what happens? We start to hyperinflate. Hyperinflation is a very real possibility. Now, what I see happening, though, is a lot of layoffs. I see mass layoffs coming, right? Now, if you get hyperinflation with mass layoffs at the same time, you're pretty much going to head into a Great Depression, a greater depression than it was back in the 30s. But Mike, that's impossible. Look at how good everything is. Well, look at in the Roaring 20s, it was called, right? Roaring 20s, everything was great. Then you had the Depression come in the 30s. See, right now we're back into the Roaring 20s. Now, I don't think we're going to get to the end of the 20s to see that Depression come. I don't think we have that much time. Now, what I want to talk about today a little bit is, well, basically I want to talk about how to protect yourself. Now, I always say to protect yourself with sound money. That would be silver. That's a silver eagle, or gold. That would be a gold eagle. 1 ounce, 1 ounce. All right. Now, why they call it sound money? Why they call it sound money? Because it makes the sound when you hit them together. That's sound money. That's what our founding fathers wanted us to have. They want us to have sound money. See, they didn't believe in this paper stuff. This paper stuff, it doesn't make any sound. It's paper, right? Bitcoin doesn't make any sound. It's not sound money. Okay, so, but the founding father did not want us to go with paper. You see, the Constitution says that gold and silver are the only real money that there is. They're money. The Constitution spells it out. Now, I know this administration and the whole federal government in general, they want to get rid of the Constitution. Why? Because they can't steal from you. They can't do theft. If we went back to sound money, they could not steal. They could not print as many zeros on this dollar $20 bills, as many zeros as they want. They can print $2,000, 20,000, 200,000, and it would all be the same paper, worthless, right? Toilet paper, this will become toilet paper. But sound money, they can't do that with. Okay, now this is what gives me a little hope for future generations. For future generations, there are 22 states that either have a bill or that have already passed a bill where they will accept payment of sound money in their state. Now, it is illegal for states to go out and print money unless the money is backed 100%, not a fractional, 100% by sound money. Then it is legal for the state to have their own currency. They can have their own currency if it's backed 100% by gold or silver. Okay, so 22 states have passed the law already. Well, they will accept payment. Now, will they create their own money where you can go in and exchange it for gold and silver? I don't know that for sure. A lot of them are starting depositories and they will start to print their own money backed 100% by gold and silver. Now, if every state does this, well, it basically gets rid of the need for the Federal Reserve completely, right? Okay, now here's what's going on right now. Here's what's going on. Here's the situation. When I go to my coin shop and I buy from my local coin shop, okay, I go in there and let's say I want to buy, 10 ounces of silver. All right. Well, 10 ounces of silver, let's call it $30 a piece, $300, right? Charges me sales tax. Sales tax. Now, why would there be sales tax when this is legal money? Do you have to pay sales tax when you get these? When you go to the bank and say, I want $20, they go, well, you got to pay that's 6% sales tax, 9%, 10% sales tax. So when you get $20, you got to give them $2. No, this is the same. This is real money. There's no way in the world there should be sales tax. Now, most states don't have sales tax when you buy gold and silver. Okay, most states don't have it. Now, California does, unless you buy over $2,000. So when I go in and I buy a 1 ounce gold eagle, this is now over $2,000, actually up around $2,400 now to get one of these. Okay, so there's no sales tax if you go over $2,000. But that's my point, is you should never pay sales tax when you're buying real money. This is real money. This is not real money. This is what's known as currency. This is currency, not real money, not backed by anything. Currency, worthless toilet paper, right? This is real money. This is what money looks like for you younger generation. All right, here's the other thing that really gets to me, Let's say I bought this, right? Let's say I bought let's say I bought it like 3 years ago and I bought it for $1,500, right? Okay, so I was at my coin shop, bought it for $1,500. Now I go into the coin shop and I go, hey, I'd like to sell this back to you. Well, how much can I get? Well, you can get $2,400. Okay, well, that's $900 of profit. You have to pay tax on your profit. You have to pay the capital gains tax. Do you pay capital gains tax on money? No, you don't. You know why? Yeah, this is not money. I exchange those words, currency and money. On currency, you don't pay capital gains tax. Why? Because it only goes down. It's becoming worthless, right? 100 years ago, a dollar was worth a dollar. Now that same dollar has 3 cents left of purchasing power. Real gold, real silver. Now, I don't know if your state has the law passed or not. If it doesn't, you write your governor, your representatives, and if they don't pass a legal bill that says that your state can accept gold and silver, vote those guys out. They're criminals. Vote them out. Vote them out. Get rid of them. This is real money. My hope is that every state will adopt it as a form of payment and it will get rid of the Federal Reserve. Okay, now what's happened? Why are people in the United States, I see them, they're not really that happy, right? And here's why. They're making more than ever, right? But they cannot afford to live. They can't pay their bills. You go to McDonald's, you don't get a Big Mac, fries, and a Coke for $20 anymore. Takes the whole 20, right? When I was a kid, that was maybe $1.50. Okay, but now it takes the whole 20, right? His consumer is tapped out. He's tapped out. He's getting destroyed. Food's gone up. Rent's gone up. Utilities have gone up. He's maxed out his credit cards. Credit cards are at a record high, $1.13 trillion on credit card. What interest rate? 23%. Oh my goodness. People are desperate getting their credit cards at 23%, but then there's the people that are really desperate to buy now, pay later. They max out their credit cards. They have nowhere to go to pay for food and rent, so they do it with buy now, pay later. The consumers tapped out. Okay, consumers tapped out. Now, who likes this? Who likes this plan? Well, the government. Government likes this plan, right? Here's why the government likes the plan. They can steal from you legally. They can legally steal from you by printing all of this they want. They can print as much as they want. And what does it do? Well, just in the last 3 years, every dollar you have has lost 20% of its purchasing power. How? By inflation. See, inflation is that everything tax. It taxes everything you have, everything you're going to get, everything you spend, right? It taxes everything. But what it also does is inflation, okay, you make more on your job, but pushes you into a higher tax bracket so the government can even steal more from you. Look, we have to get rid of currency. We have to go back to sound money. Now, people say, but Mike, Bitcoin's the answer, right? They only going to print 21 million of them. That's right. They're only going to print 21 million of them. There's over 20,000 different coins right now. There's soon going to be over 30,000. There's going to be more different coins than there are different stocks. Think about that. Okay, so there's one Bitcoin. I get that, 21 million. All right, if you like math and all that, you go buy the Bitcoin. I like Bitcoin. I don't hate Bitcoin. I love to gamble on it, but is it sound money? No, it's not sound money. You got to get back to sound money. That's where the safety is. Bitcoin, it can drop down 20% a day. It can go up 20% in a day. But what's happened now? Okay, so this inflation has created these bubbles. Look at it. And the bubbles, they can continue, right? If someone's dumb enough to pay 70 grand for some digits on a screen, maybe they'll pay 70 million for those same digits on the screen. You just have to find the greater fool. The bubble can get bigger. They keep printing this currency. Nobody knows where to put it, so they put it in the stock market, put it in the real estate market, put it into Bitcoin. It's going higher and higher now. So who's it benefiting? Who's it benefiting? Benefiting the top 5 or 10% of people, right? They're getting incredibly rich. They're taking those lavish vacations. They're out there driving the Porsches, the Lamborghinis, because they don't know what to do with all the money they're making. They're making money hand over fist. Why? Because they're inflating this. So who gets hurt? The little guy, the bottom 90% are getting hurt. At the top 10%, they're getting filthy rich. I'll be the first to admit that. And the bottom 90%, they're feeling poor, right? And we can't figure out why we can't keep up. Look at, when you go to work, you make a living, you make a wage, right? And maybe you can pay rent, maybe you can make enough for food, but that's not where you're getting rich. Where these rich cats are getting rich is because they own the assets, right? You want to own the asset, but Mike, I'm broke. I can't afford any assets. And maybe you are broke, right? Maybe you stop going to Starbucks once a day and instead go get an ounce of silver. This is the cheapest asset on the planet, below $30 still for a 1-ounce silver round at your local coin shop. If you don't have a local coin shop, go on eBay, buy it from a reputable dealer, buy it from someone with a name, someone that's a reputable dealer, and that's an asset, right? Now, maybe you can only buy one at a time, and that's fine. You start stacking them, pretty soon you're going to have assets. I'm telling you, pretty soon you're going to be able to trade 500 of these for the average price home in the United States. That's called a wealth transfer. You see, when you have the asset, the other people are in this big bubble. This is not in a bubble. How do I know this is not in a bubble? You can look at the ratios, right? You can look at the ratios. Okay, so now when it was in a bubble, well, back in the 80s, this was in a bubble. This was running $800 for an ounce of gold, $50 for an ounce of silver. That was back in the 80s, but right now an ounce of silver is half that cost, 25, right? So 50, 25, it's half of what it was in 1980. Believe me, it is not in a bubble, right? It's cheap. Everything else has gone into a bubble. Okay, now the gold-silver ratio does mean that silver is the better buy. Silver is a better buy. What's the ratio? I don't know what it is, 80 to 1, 90 to 1 ounces of silver to an ounce of gold. How many ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold? Let's call it 90. 90 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold. Now the ratio will shift back. When it shifts back to 15 to 1, you take all your silver and you convert it into gold. It will shift back. Maybe not to all the way to 15 to 1, maybe only to 20 to 1. Right now, silver is the better buy, cheapest asset on the planet. Gold, record high, record high, record high. Nothing bad's happened yet. Gold is still a bargain. Why do I know it's a bargain, right? Because gold has done it twice every 50 years. It goes 1 to 1 with the Dow back in 1930, 1 to 1 with the Dow back in 1980, 1 to 1 with the Dow. It's going to go 1 to 1 with the Dow again. Where's the Dow right now? Dow's at 40,000. Where's an ounce of gold right now? 2,400. Will the Dow come down to 2,400? It's possible, right? It's possible. Will gold go up to 40,000? Possible also. It's called the Great Reset. They're going to reset this. But contact your state governor. Tell them you want to use the state to accept payment of gold and silver as payment, right? Get that passed. Get that law passed. 22 states have already passed it. Okay. When it gets passed in your state, they can then print their own money, only if it's backed 100%, not fractional, backed 100% at the depository where you can bring in the money, get your gold and silver from it. Then it's legal for the states to do this. This is in the Constitution. They want to take the Constitution and throw it away. Why? Because they can't steal our money then. They can't steal sound money. There's no way for them there they can steal sound money. They can steal from us all they want as long as we allow them to print unlimited amounts of this stuff and just send it to foreign countries. I mean, we just passed another spending bill. It's a disaster. $1.2 trillion that we don't have. Once again, your purchasing power went down. Once again, the general public is the loser. It's time for us to take our country back and get back to sound money. Do it on a state level. Gives me a little bit of hope. I got carried away again because it's Friday. Get out there, everybody. Enjoy the weekend. But first, give me the thumbs up. Punch the subscribe button. Get out there. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye-bye now.